You mean? So,
Cool. So this hasn't happened before, but Danny Diablo and I were having such a great conversation before we even hit record that I just hit record in the middle of it and probably ruined it because now I'm going to. But the first thing I want to let everybody know is that one of the coolest things about this guy is that he's a living. Actually, we're going through something in my family. He is a living embodiment of the fact that tattoos, piercings, black clothes, having a beard, being tall, being a Jew is not terrifying, right? Is not. This is one of the most happy-go-lucky and most fun individuals. So follow him on Instagram because it's a ride. All right.
thank you.
Moving
Thank
on.
you.
My guest today is like my brother from another mother. Gore-Tex, who I interviewed last week or so, calls him his rabbi. Jewish and Puerto Rican from New York, grew up a graffiti writer on punk and hip hop, did way too many drugs, got sober, and continues to write, record, perform, and still get up as Lord Ezec. This is Danny Diablo, founding member of hardcore bands Crown of Thornz, Skarhead and Icepick, huge in the New York City hardcore scene. As a solo artist, Danny has been signed to or released albums with Travis Barker's LaSalle Records, Epitaph, Hellcat, Knives Out, and Force 5. His second LP, International Hardcore Superstar, That Which He Is, featured Vinnie Paz, Sick Jackin, and Everlast. So if you're not familiar yet with Danny's music, that can give you a sense of some of the direction, at least on the hip hop side. In early 2012, this busy motherfucker founded his own independent label, Ill Rock Records, and released his third solo album, The Blood of Eden, which featured Mad Child, My Friend Block McCloud, The Legendary Scam Dust, Mr. Hyde, Planetary, and Bizarre. That's a good collection. In 2020, Danny released 2 more full-length albums, and he's released 4 singles in 2022 and 2023. Musically, he is way more prolific than your host. He's also performing all over the place, and he's mentioned a couple movies to me, which if he's up for talking about, I will ask. Is he working on another album? I don't know. What will it sound like? That's impossible to tell. Will I be on it? Possibly. Today we'll find out as my legendary guest and I talk punk, hip hop, New York City, politics, Antifa versus the Sharps, drugs, sobriety, his father, and aging ever so gracefully. Danny, it is a fucking pleasure, my man.
Thank you, my brother. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. We just vibed right off the top. Like it's only happened a couple times. Like I love everybody I interview, but there was this guy, Alex Mingus, who got an award in St. Paul from the police for valiant or heroic efforts or whatever. The story was that there was about to be a shooting, and my man's job, like what he does is, community defense and violence prevention and intervention. And so he sees this happening, and coincidentally, there's like 20 cop cars driving down the street and not even like racing. They're not going somewhere else. They're just like chilling. And he's waving down cops. No one will stop. So he is the one who breaks it up, calms the guy down, gets the gun out of his hand. He's getting this award.
I see that. The guy who says, I don't want this. He said, he gave the thing. I see that. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. He went viral. He said riots work, and right in front of this gang of police. And I was like, I'm interviewing you yesterday, and he and I vibe too. Like, he's a good dude. And so anyway, there's a reason that this kind of happens. Certain personalities, being a New Yorker, Jewish and Puerto Rican. My wife's Dominican. There, plus the hardcore and hip hop thing, like there's a lot we could go on forever. So let's get one thing out of the way, because politics is not necessarily it is not why I brought you on. It is why I bring a lot of other people on. But I realized as I'm closing this show, I want to get a couple of my hip hop heroes on too. Just so I can have that opportunity and enjoy the experience, also demonstrating what hip hop can be. It's not just me who makes this music that you political folks can relate to. Okay. So let's start in an odd way. I'm assuming you are familiar with Skinheads Against Racial Prejudice.
Yes, sharp.
Yeah. Right. They were much bigger back in the day, when we were kids. My cousins co-founded it. And Antifa today, whatever they may be,
Yeah.
we can kind of assume that those who identify, and not in this neoliberal on Twitter, in my Twitter bio way, but who really identify as Antifa, are the, black mask, black shirt kids we see at protests nowadays.
Yeah.
It's very different. And I'm curious about your thoughts, now that we're seeing an even, a massive shift toward fascism and a huge growth in all of these Nazi groups, thanks to, Trump making it okay again. And we don't have the sharps anymore.
Yeah.
I'm too old to beat up Nazis. So where do we go? Is Antifa, what do you think of those kids out there? Do you think it helps the cause, hurts the cause, and how do we fight this impending possible doom if we don't start doing something?
Listen. What's going on in the world today? I don't even. It's so insane how everything's going. I have friends who are like, dudes, brothers of mine who are Trump supporters, and brothers of mine who are liberals or lefts. You know what I mean? And these guys fight every fucking day. Can't curse or say, I want to say they fight every day. I'm like, yo, guys, calm down. You know what I mean? Like it's like you guys are acting like your biker organizations each other. Like it's like you don't want to kill each other. It's like I think that everyone. I'm just trying to talk about how I think. I was brought up. My father was a cop. My mother was a housewife. You know what I mean? And my father was a cop between 1962 to 62 to 83. So the worst time in New York City. And he was a Jewish, redhead, blue-eyed cop in the hood. His first 10 years was in Spanish Harlem, which my mother was working at a fucking donut shop and fucking met him, and that's a love, and that's how it came to be. You know what I mean? So the next 10 years was Bushwick.
I love that.
Keep going. Bushwick, yeah. So he's like, my father was basically. This is crazy. My mother is Puerto Rican black. You know, he's like, so it's like and it was just Queen. She's from Spanish Harlem. My father's from Brooklyn, and we grew up in Jackson Heights. I grew up in Jackson Heights, and that's the melting pot of the world. It gives Book of World Records most like every race.
I never heard that. Interesting.
Yeah, if you look up Jackson Heights, Queens, it's in the Guinness Book of World Record of the most, like, so many ethnicities in one place. So I grew up knowing the difference between a Sikh and a Hindu and a Palestinian, Pakistani. So people don't know that. I mean, people know. You go on the West Coast, they see a Dominican guy, they think that, why is that black guy speaking Spanish? They don't know. They're like, yo, I put a Puerto Rican flag in LA in front of my thing. They thought it was a Texas flag.
Oh,
and I was like, they don't know. It's like when you ask someone on the West Coast, what are you? And they're like, I'm white. I'm like, yeah, but what kind of white? In the East Coast, we're proud of what we are. So it doesn't matter. You're Irish, you're Italian, You're Bulgarian. Like, that's a Bulgarian flag. You know what I mean? So,
you are so right. And it is so, I would say, it is pretty unique to Queens, to that melting pot that you're talking about. And there's also all these little pockets of communities that people easily pass through and engage with. And so, to your point, like, of recognizing the difference between Middle Eastern and Southeast Asian, like your average white guy or American doesn't, that I totally understand where you're coming from, because what you're saying is, it is actually possible for a Jewish cop to marry a black Puerto Rican woman. It is possible for communities that disagree on things and have very different cultures can intermingle And yet that's not what's happening. And
No,
yeah.
it's crazy. And also, my thing is this. All right, everything, like politics, marriage, anything, work, it's all about compromise. You mean it's like you go right here, like, this. Everyone's, no one's gonna. You can't get mad at someone who grew up different from you to act a certain way. You mean so when people say, "Oh yeah, but he grew up this," I got friends. Who were fucking, the mothers of crackheads, or fucking that raped them, and they don't do drugs. They understand the vicious cycle. People, my when I was a young kid, my father was a hard man. Polish Ashkenazi Jew, a hard man. But imagine growing up. I grew up. They're like, you fucking, you're adopted. Your mom's a nigger. You're spick, Jew. Oh, the kike. It was the Jewish thing was really bad. While I walk in synagogue and with a red afro, with your father and your Puerto Rican black mother walking down, people would yell slurs all the time. And that's why I learned how
shit too. But that's even
that's why I
like
learned. But it made
double
me.
jeopardy.
It made me
As did
understand
mine.
more. You mean, and it made me a good fighter too, because I had to fight. And
Me too.
and yeah, you mean it's like, the West Coast. I know for a fact, especially graffiti too. It's like I see some nowadays. So people beef each other. The guy like some guy was crossing out like you kike, and I was like, yo, what the like? It's like
That's
so
not
weird.
that's
Over
not
people.
our days.
Yeah,
That's
no.
wow.
So.
And
So you get where I come from, Queens. It's different from the West Coast. In Queens, if you have a problem with someone going to the store, you're gonna see that guy. The bodega. So people learn to fight over here. When people go to house parties in the West Coast, and they drive. If everything's far, I mean. So, but in New York City, you're gonna see that person unless you're in jail, and that's where you see it. That's where you break
he'll
down
see his
everything.
friends. Yeah. I mean, absolutely. And this is the kind of stuff I was hoping to get, so people can get an understanding of that period and of growing up that way. But you've also brought up so many other points, and you may not know this, or even have like run across a lot of people talking about this, but you're speaking like an abolitionist, and I want to explain what that means. I also consider myself an anti-fascist, but when I was growing up, any single person I saw with a Confederate flag got punched in the face, no questions asked. I have learned over the years something that you said, which is that people really shouldn't be blamed for how they were raised.
Yeah.
And if you look at the South in particular, and if you look at kids growing up during COVID with Trump's bullshit and the QAnon stuff, and the shitty parenting, in reality, a lot of the racist Nazi fucks are generation upon generation of disinformation. They are the products of their parents and their grandparents. And there are groups out there and former Nazis who go around being like, bro, you got it all wrong. Let me explain this to you. And people have reformed. Yeah. And that is what an abolitionist believes, that anybody can be transformed in the right, if done correctly. You don't impose yourself, and, because you're not in favor of anything carceral, right? But you demonstrate the truth. And so, as it turns out, my pacifist, beautiful late mother, who I, worshipped but didn't agree with on pacifism, she was kind of right. I think full pacifism, I agree with Ward Churchill, is pathology. It is a huge mistake, because it means no matter what, you're not doing a damn thing. That's just
like Gandhi.
Right. Yeah. Fuck all that. But like, my mom had a real smart heart. Part of that was really right on. Like, and I don't go out looking for fights anymore.
No, it's I grew up a certain way. Also, my father was a hard man. His father, they escaped Germany for Nazis. They came to Brooklyn. You know what I mean? So they escaped. They went from Poland to Austria to France, France to Canada, Canada to Brooklyn, and that's how they came to New York. So my
Wow.
my father's family, 11 brothers and sisters died. I
Wow.
mean, so like all together, so only like 3 of them made it to the thing. So it's so when people talk about when people over here cry about this and that, I'm like, yo, bro, that's why. And my grandfather, Samuel Singer, he was a hard man. I was like, I remember that he should just eat lentils and pasta with butter by himself, and he would never say anything. He worked in the garment district making hats, and my grandmother Helen Helen Singer. She sang. She spoke 7 languages. And
Interesting.
she was a beautiful voice, and she was like always talking to me. But she would say mad racist shit about my mom, like my mom's mother. Yeah, like the Puerto Rican grandmother said.
That old fashioned shit is so ridiculous. I was in a car. I still remember this. It was like 20 years ago. I was in a car driving like kind of out of Park Slope, like on Atlantic or whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't know what made me think of it. Maybe I saw a couple like your parents or something. And I said, hey, Grandma, would you rather I married a black Jew or a white Christian? And she said a white Christian. And I was fucking shocked because all this woman cares about is Judaism.
Yeah.
And again, and escaping fucking Nazis and like building shit here. And if they're black, it doesn't matter if they're Jewish. I was like, holy shit.
See, it gets crazy because my father grew up. So my father, when I had my son, I was like, I'm not gonna ever put my hands on my son ever, because my father used to beat the shit out of me. But my father used to beat the shit out of me when he was a cop, when I was a little kid. So he come home, I would break shit in the house. I would do stupid stuff and deserve a smack, pick on my brother and sister, and I would get whacked. You know what I mean? Like, I deserve it. This guy, poor guy, worked like 2 double shift overtime, and getting almost killed all the time, and seeing babies put in incinerators. He would tell stories. He told me later on when my father became my best friend, my cool with me after the fact. He retired. When he retired from police department, that job took a toll of him, man. And he stopped. There was no more fighting in the house with my mom, and there was nothing. We became boys. And my father died in my arms. It means that the crazy stuff. My father died in my. This is the craziest shit. I always laugh. I laugh about. That's the Jewish part of me. I make jokes all the time. I went on tour with Vanilla Ice in '99.
No, you
listen.
No, you did not.
Listen, Skarhead opened up for Vanilla Ice.
No, you did not.
Listen, twice we did. So and Vanilla Ice had a band with Ross Robinson's band. Ross Robinson produced the record. It was a hard album, and everyone in that band. The friends we. It was the guitar player for OTEP. It was Dave Kushner for Velvet Revolver. He played guitar. It was my Scott, who plays for Weezer now. He's the bass player. We became boys. He plays for Weezer now. So it was just insanity. So I remember it was the Skarhead had a house called 3140. It's the name of the number of the house on 82nd Street. And we just got home. And I remember my dog Ajax was a puppy. It was like a puppy, and I was sleeping on the floor. I was on the floor. We're all fucked up. My father knocks on the door like a cop. I'm like, "Yo, who is that?" And they open the door. It's his dad. My dog runs up to him and starts bugging out on him. And he's like, "Rrr." My father's like, "What the fuck's wrong with your dog?" He never does that. I was like, "I don't know." He was like crying. So we jumped in the car. I went to the Kodak, not the Kodak, to the 1 hour photo at CVS. I gave the film for the Instamat cameras. We took the whatever. And second, I walk into the house, because my old room is like a storage thing. I sit down, boom, he falls to the floor. And my mom's going crazy. And she goes, call the hot solo for the ambulance. I'm like, yo, call a regular ambulance. And she's like bugging out. And I give him mouth to mouth. His fucking shit come out. His dentures come out. But he screamed. And my father was the hardest man in the world. But he let out a shriek like death. and his eye, I saw his eyes go so Cal, and that was it. Then we went to Jamaica Hospital. He died, pronounced it Jamaica Hospital. But I'm trying to say is that all that horror stuff. I'm sitting there, my boy Vinny Ali from my neighbor Corona. He's like holding my mom in the hospital, and we look at each other. I was like, my mother's it's crazy. He just died. He goes to see the body. So we see the body as our dad, and I kiss him on his forehead. We go outside, and my mother's like crying. I'm like, at least like this Vanilla Ice canceled the last two shows. We're not doing it. I canceled. Somehow I'm imagining we're not doing it. I said, imagine if he would have died and I'd only been on tour of Vanilla Ice. I would have missed. At least he died in my arms. And we all start laughing. And my mom's like, shut the fuck up.
Oh,
my boy's like, I was like, yo, it'd be horrible if he died. I'm on tour of Vanilla Ice. I miss it. At least he died in my arms. And I could, but the thing is, I was like, God, poor guy, his whole life worked. My mom busts his balls, and the last person he sees me, him giving mouth to mouth. But poor guy, I'm like, yo, and we just because my father, the humor in that guy is from my dad. He was so fucked up.
Holy shit!
And he was like, no, I don't tell you something. He grew up in a different time. People get mad. People like, you guys cancel these people when they think. I'm like, yo, it's a different fucking time. Yeah, like my father was exactly like homeboy from All in the Family. Like, he was told of that guy, and I could stop the shit he would say.
Archie Bunker.
He was Archie Bunker. Yo, one time, like, Skarhead. When people look at Skarhead back in the day, we were fucking like, there's no really, we came out in 95, but 99, 98, we were touring, and it was me, Puerto Rican Mike, we had Boston Mike, we're all mixed and everything. And people used to get mad at us because the way we speak. Like, oh, they look at these wiggers. I'm like, wiggers? I'm fucking, they don't even know. Because they don't know. And they're like, yo, and we couldn't stop laughing. But my father, like DJ Kaz, Puerto Rican Mike, we're like, my father one time sat down with us, and he said something to us, and we're like, this is the most racist shit I've ever heard in my life. And I was like, and I stood there and looked at him, and we looked at each other. He goes, yo, what are you guys doing tonight? We're like, oh, we got into a fight and everything, blah, blah, blah. And we're going to stay here. He goes, Fridays and Saturday nights, we should just let them kill each other. I was like, what? And we all Boston Mike, Oregon, we're all mixed, black, white, fans. And we're like, he goes, we should call Friday, Saturday nights. This is the craziest thing ever. And I always think about it and start laughing. He goes, we should call Friday, Saturday nights nigger nonsense, Hispanic hysteria. And we're like, yo, we're gonna call Skarhead's new record that. And they were like, you can't do it. And we were like, we're like, why? Look at us. And that's the fucking craziest name ever. I was like, how insane is that? Like, these cops were talking down like that to each other. That's it. It's 70s and 80s. You know what I mean?
All right. So what's crazy is him saying that to you guys.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but cops today, they're the same way. They say the same shit they say the craziest
I
shit.
think that they're more dangerous now because they're more like gangs now. They computers, they know how to do it. Like, before, cops were all right, there's gonna be good cops and bad cops. No, I don't. That's what I'm saying. But now it's like, back in the day, the cops had each other backs. You know what I mean? The cops now just like, they get in trouble, they're ratting everything out for little things. It's like almost like it is a gang. You know what I mean? So
it's the biggest gang in the country with the most power. They get military equipment from all different places within the government, and and so and the training they get is from former military people who literally talk about people like me and you as enemy combatants that they're at war against. And these are the people we're taught to believe are like protecting and serving.
It gets crazier too, because when I was little, I used to go to, my father didn't drink, right? He had one beer. He would walk. He was a cop too, so he would walk to his friend owned the bar. And I was a little kid. He used to go to all these bars with him just to see his cop friends. And I'm like, and I remember the pretzels, and that's it, the pinball. But I used to go to all these places.
I miss pinball
in Queens, and it'd be like all IRA, like. These cops, and that's where these. I mean, I'm like, this where the IRA got a lot of the guns, everything for the cops. Who just when they got to go raid someone, they take all the guns there, and they would give it back to IRA, and they send it back on a boat, and then that's how that's part of life, and and you'd be like, oh my God, this and that. But being Jewish, and the free Palestine stuff, it's basically the same thing with these people too. They see, when people. I try my best being. I know, like people say, it's a Zionist thing. I'm Jewish. I'm a proud Jew. I was born Orthodox. But when I post something online, this is what bothers me. I post online and be like, "Oh, happy Passover, free Palestine." I'm like, yo, listen. I'm just saying, happy Passover to my Jewish brothers. I understand you people. I'm not from over there. I don't know what it is, but I feel for everyone. You know what I mean? But I won't go on to someone's if it's Ramadan and be like, "For Israel rules." You know what I mean? It's just a weird thing. You know what I mean?
I agree. And I think, at this point, we have enough evidence to say it goes without saying that, Israel is the power and the Palestinians are the oppressed. That just is what it is there. And it's horrible and it needs to change.
It needs the same thing. It needs the same thing.
So Donald Trump, one of the things that he did was say that all Jews had a right to go back to Israel. And all the Jews celebrated, and a lot of Jews fucking stupidly like him. And what he really meant was that Jews aren't American, they're Israeli. And he wanted to open up a path for as many of us to get the fuck out of the US as possible, which is a whole wild thing. So, fuck, I lost my train of thought. What did you say?
So go, like, you think, like, as a birthright going back, or he just wants to get everyone out?
Oh, okay. All right. Now I remember. So it's really fucked up that we are, it's really fucked up how unwilling Palestinian Americans, leftist Americans are to recognizing that Jewish Americans are not Jewish Israelis, and most Jews are leftist and working class, and the whole George Soros, elder protocols of the elders of Zion is conspiracy bullshit. Those are the same people who say the Holocaust didn't happen.
George Soros,
that's some conspiracy bullshit.
That's right? Some crazy, but I really don't like to listen. I got my friend. He's an actor, Peter Green. He's into conspiracies all day, and
so is Gore-Tex, man.
Oh yeah, Gore-Tex. But listen, but he speaks about politics and everything. He knows, like, he'll tell you.
He knows his shit. Oh yeah.
Knows, but he's like me. I'd stay up because I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. I don't want people. And plus my business. If you speak politics, you lose half the crowd, no matter what. That's it.
For sure.
You know what I mean? So my thing's like I roll with the punches, and I
love your attitude. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. And I say this about myself too.
Yeah.
The way I choose to dress, walk, talk, eat, speak, whatever, everything I do is political.
Yeah,
so
I know.
It goes for you too. And so you don't have to be at every fucking protest to be representing a message that kids can learn from. Yeah. And I think they can learn a lot from you because it is approachable, and because you are roll with the punches, not looking for, to point out people's weaknesses or point out differences between people that will create problems. I refuse to, because I don't know why, actually. You turned out the way you did, I turned out the way I did, but I refuse to not to be kind of neutral. And I don't even know, because we've had similar upbringings and whatever. Maybe my mom was a big activist. It could be that. It would probably
that's probably it. Yeah, because you grew up with that.
Yeah. But anyway, your existence is important. And I think if more people were like you, this country would be actually a lot better. And I think it, like we mentioned, it kind of takes growing up the way we did, the way you did, even more than me, experiencing all of that. Like if you're living in the ivory tower, or if you're living in a trailer park, you're not getting any experiences that are going to open up your mind, and
it's life. Yeah, you gotta take it's also when people a lot of people get mad at people, and I see things differently. Like are you like I can say it like this. Let's say I belong to something like a brotherhood thing, a fraternity, whatever, and some guy wants to join the fraternity, right? And they say, "Yo, that dude was one of the top Nazi skinheads on the East Coast," and I'm like, let me talk to him. You know what I mean? Because he's like hang out, and all of a sudden the guy becomes one of my best friends, and he's like, "Yo, I was young, and everything," and I'm like, "Hey, this guy's a world champion kickboxer, whatever." And I'm like, "Yo," and I hear a story, and he hangs out with us, and now he's not a Nazi skin anymore. He's with us.
that's exactly my fucking point. Boom.
And so that's how I am. But also I look at so I can make jokes. This guy, everyone's like, "Oh, you're Nazi." I said, "Listen, I'm fucking Jewish. If I think this guy's all right, it's all right, bro. He's not good. But people get mad. I got people also who are part of us, very political, liberal or leftist, and they hate the other guys, like who are right wing and Trump supporters, and these guys argue over everything. And I'm like, guys, just take care of your families and make sure your kids are good, your wife's good, and just like it's about compromise. Right? No, you're not going to argue politics. You're not going to win, never.
Well, that too, absolutely.
In the bar, people get fighting. I'm like, first of all, guys, you're a bartender and you're a plumber. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, right. Like honestly, I'm not disrespecting working class people.
No, I'm just saying.
I know. No. I wasn't saying you were either. They could know all the stuff. They could know more than the politicians, but it doesn't matter because they're a bartender and a plumber, because they don't have power. They have to work for the man, whatever, even if they own their own business, like they don't have political power. They don't, and so honestly, I think this has been a really cool conversation because I have spent so much time talking about abolition in this totally different way. Yeah. And maybe it's gotten repetitive and boring. Who knows? No one's honest. And this demonstrates the same thing in a really cool, different way that I think different people are going to get it. I am as left as they come, but I don't have those arguments either. And I also had like the online Antifa fucking like lost it on me on Twitter like a few years ago, because what I said was that instead of spending time spray painting and yelling ACAB, let's focus on the actual systemic problems and get rid of not just the one the one cop you're yelling at or doxing today, but fixing the entire fucking thing and getting rid of all cops and replacing them. And just because I said I insulted them, I hurt their feelings, they fucking lost it on me.
They'll go after you.
And I was like, and like, they're threatening to dox me, and I'm like, seriously, fuck all of you, okay? Like, I blocked like 1,000 people that day, and then I was like, and I was already like on this path toward really understanding what abolition means and fully embracing it, and that's part of it. Like, you guys are not as leftist and as open, like, and as like, I don't know what the word is, but like, you don't get it. Like, you actually don't get it. Because one of the main reasons people become cops is not because they want to kill Black people. It's because they're poor and they know that they can make an absurd amount of money. And believe it or not, in some communities, there is prestige still to being a police officer. These people simply need to get taught that before they get murdered by a fellow officer or thrown under the bus, they need to quit because they're not a bad person. You can't actually say that to Antifa, which is crazy.
It's it is. It's growing up in the East Coast, everyone in New York City, everyone and the family has a cop. Everyone knows, yeah, my uncle's a cop. He says it's a good job, like you said. And
Exactly.
and I think people don't understand that it's a job for them, and it's a job. You have people who are good, who bad. You mean it's good. Like, but I don't want to say that because they get mad. They all get mad when say there's a few bad apples.
You can't say that to me either, brother.
I'm saying, I know that. That's what I'm saying. There are a few bad apples, but it is what it is. Like, and when you join, listen, I know when people you give you give any power to anyone. You see, when you see asshole bouncers, they think they're cops. But beat up the guy, I can fuck something like you're a bouncer. You're supposed to stop. You're supposed to stop. You're supposed to stop it and wait for the cops. You're not supposed to beat the guy and control law and order and judging. And you know what I mean, like it's
RoboCop.
I think to me, this is my thing, and I always said this. I think it's weird. I think cops all should be over 6 feet tall. This is like a situations. I listen, you're laughing, but I'm telling you, like cops. And I think cops should be everything should be like almost military. It can't be the law should be for everything. It should be like this is the law. You break it, you have to not this like the people get sentenced for fucking 15 years for something that's hard, like nothing. Then also the guy has money, gets off because 1 year. The guy's 50. Shouldn't be like this. Everything should be over the board. One thing. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy. Like especially these rich people, they get off murder. And all of a sudden, but they had to pay money to the family. That means they're guilty. What the fuck is that about? They should be fucking jail. How the fuck is that? And there should be no other thing. There should be just one thing overall for everyone. No one like here like there's child molesters out there who fucking get off, and people who rape fucking old ladies and get on bail. Oh yeah, they let them out. And it's horrible. And all of a sudden, some guy, oh yeah, he did this. He's gonna get 3 years for a fight. But this guy raped a baby. And you let the guy out.
Or think about the hundreds of thousands of people locked up for like decades for marijuana,
acid, like and all that stuff. But acid is because they opened up. We could go a whole bunch of shit. The mind and they don't want people using. They want people using the mind. You know what I mean? Like
they want people to get drunk on corporate beer and then get into fights so they can make some
DUIs, $10,000 a pop.
Boom, money for the prison industrial complex.
And that's another thing. I think that no prisons should ever be privately owned. It should be just a state thing. And
here's the problem. Even the state and federal prisons that are not privatized make fortunes for corporations through
the license plates, all this shit.
Through
linen
through commissary, through their bedding and their clothes, to the phone calls where they jack up prices like $80 a fucking minute. Like,
it's sad.
Horrible. And they pay them like from $0 to like 80 cents. It's literally new slavery. So moving on, because there's too much for us to talk about. And honestly, we could do multiple episodes of this, but thank God I'm ending this show soon. So instead, let's just talk a little bit about drugs and sobriety. Tell me how it started for you. Like for me, it was a lot of fun in the beginning. Tell me how you felt over time, and tell me what it was like getting sober.
I never had a drinking problem in my life. It was my thing was I would party, and a social drug would be cocaine. I never
I love cocaine.
I never smoked crack. Never did heroin. It's like all these people like this and that. It's so crazy because once you put something out there, then the people the weird fans, the people haters, like, oh, that's why you did.
Fuck them too, man. Addicts are strong as hell.
So my thing is that I was like, I would come back from tour. I would put money to my bills, the money for child support, this and that. Then all of a sudden, I would have $500 of my own money, and I'd be like, "Yo, it's time to celebrate." I would celebrate everything, a movie premiere, anything. You know what I mean? And that's how it was. And because I'm not a drink, like I don't drink, so people like, oh, whatever. But if I'm on tour, if you buy me a drink, say it right now. If I'm on, my thing is this: I moved out to Milwaukee, and and I was doing cocaine like at least four times a week, 5 times a week. They're saying like just like not I wasn't stealing fucking selling my
Yeah.
thing for my just whatever, but my what who I am and what I do. I got people who are my brothers who fucking like whatever people give me whatever I want. I don't have to pay for nothing. So my thing's like it got too much, and it was my head wasn't clear anymore, and it was going to a point of like I'm 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 gonna, I'm gonna, I'm 50 years old, and now I'm gonna be 52. I'm saying like I was like I'm 51, and like this is it's like wherever like I'm not doing this like this. So I said I want to move, and I want to try my best not to like to whatever do it. And the thing is like, hey, yeah, good days and bad days, but like I went from doing it 4 or 5 times a week to fucking the last since New Year's, like I did like 7 times. So to me, that's me. It's my personal thing. It's like,
All right,
I'm not gonna be like, hey, straight edge everything. But my
dude,
thing is
let
to
me say
just try.
something.
Yeah,
Let me say something. If you're able to do it 7 times in however many years, you're not an addict.
yeah,
And
that's what I'm
I'm really
saying. That's
happy
what
to say. I'm really
that's.
happy to tell you that. Yeah.
Well,
Like
yeah, I know friends who are fucked up and
there's
still
no
fucked
way,
up.
like if I do it once, I'm doing it nonstop until something stops me. Right.
Yeah,
That's an addict.
yeah,
But I will say Gore-Tex did this in a way that hurt my feelings. I'm just kind of teasing. And you did it in a less way that it made me less sad. Um, anyway, these words I'm using are totally ridiculous. I know
yeah,
that. What he said, what he said was basically like drug addicts are scumbags. And a lot of times they can be, but
yeah.
it's not because they actually are. It's because drugs force them to do scumbag shit.
Yes,
And so when I went to rehab, I noticed a lot of different things. There were cops and firemen and
yeah.
EMS people.
Nurses,
What's that?
nurses.
Nurses, absolutely. And then there's a few of the fucking people you envision in your head that is the stereotype. And then there's people like me. And we, as part of it, you have to fucking tell your story. You have to
Yeah,
admit to this room full of people like all the fucked up shit you did while you were using drugs or alcohol or whatever. And I was thankful that most of the people did way worse shit than me.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I also realized that I was no better than any of them. And like, sure, I knew some, like none of them knew a bunch of famous people. None of them rap. Like, and I didn't tell anyone a damn thing about who I was. But like, otherwise, in every other way, we're all fucking human beings. Like,
Yeah, we all make mistakes. We all,
exactly.
you know.
And one thing, by the way, AA's fucking, well, in my opinion, really fucked up. I mean, in addition to it requiring like a Christian religious like adherence, there's also this thing that says like addiction is a disease, period. It stands alone. If you're an addict, all you have to do is go to AA and you won't, or NA, and you won't drink and you won't do drugs. It doesn't recognize all of the trauma we've been through and all of the like fucked up neurons that make us crazy. Like
Yeah,
there's reasons people become addicts. They don't just wake up one day and go, "Oh, I have the addict disease." So that shit's crazy, right? Like we all need to talk to people and like
there's like I know I talked to my ex and she was going to some meetings. It was like for new stuff. It was like a new thing. It had nothing to do with religion. It was like young kids, and I was like, my thing is that when I went to rehab in
are you
2000,
talking about Dharma punks or
no, I know the Dharma punks. I
no
know,
that dude, yeah.
yeah, but I'm saying I went to rehab. It was 2014. I went. My ex-wife was like, "Oh, whatever." I said, "Yeah, I'll go. Let me get 30 days. Fucking, I'll show you whatever." And I went there. When I went there, I walked in there, and the Grammys organization, the Grammys, I went for free because the Grammys. So it was a whole big thing. They got me in, and the sad thing was, it was when I moved to New York. It was a few blocks away from where I lived in Encino, California. So when I walked in, I met some good people, And then I met some people in there who worked there who were just assholes, and they just knew the people that they were bringing people and selling drugs in there. It was fucked up, man. And and I was with porn stars and all that. I just like, and I, one day I walked in there, and one guy was like, Lord Ezec, Skarhead. I was like, oh, here it goes.
Yeah,
So
because
everyone,
it sounds like you went to one of those like famous people ones where
it,
like
it, it was for music cares. You mean
yeah.
so? But it was everyone's cool. But one guy, I was like, oh my god! But these guys were all doing heroin and crystal meth, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I like at that time I was like, I like going to titty bars and doing coke with strippers. That's what you know what I mean. That was my thing. You know what I mean? Like, I think the sex addiction was more worse than fucking the cocaine addiction. You know what I mean?
Could
So
be.
you know,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
was that's all it was. You know what I mean?
That's another thing I learned that addiction, seriously, man, addiction is fucking addiction. And like, you can absolutely have a food addiction, a
Oh
sex
yeah,
addiction, a shopping addiction.
violence. You know,
Oh, yeah.
that was a big that was a big thing with me when I was young. Before I even kissed a girl, I was knocking people out. I was beating people. So I was like, I was known for that for all time. That's when people meet me, they think I'm like 6'4", like 300 pounds. I'm like,
Yeah.
they're like, what's up? And I was like, what's up? And like,
Yeah.
and it's just it's a different world.
In fighting, size doesn't matter.
And it was like, and this is before the UFC shit. And I was like, yo, like, it's like my thing is like because those, but not to take I did martial arts, like I did grappling, MMA. But even then, when I did MMA, I would be in these classes with these dudes. And they were cops and the bullies from my neighborhood. I'm like, this, you know, like,
fuck that.
Yeah, it's like,
all right, so. We've covered drugs. We've covered your dad. We've covered the fact that you're 52. How do you feel?
Yeah.
How do you feel?
Good, man. I feel I wake up every day like I wake up and I'm happy to be alive, and there's nothing in me that's going to stop me because I look at my older brother from my family, my New York Hardcore family, DMS family, Vinny Stigma from Nazi Front, and I look at him. He's 66 years old and he's touring every day, and he's happy, and he's fucking lives in Little Italy. He's still old school Italian, and I look at him, and I go to his house now, have coffee with him in the building that he grew up in fucking Mott Street, and it's in Little Italy. And I'm like, I've been in. I said, Vinny, I said,
I want to come with you sometime. That sounds good.
I want like this. I said, Vinny, I used to come. I've been going to your house since I was 15 years old. Now I have a son who's going to be 15 years old. And we started laughing. I was like, yo, where's it going? Like, think about the time. I was 15 years old when I knew you. You know, the hardcore kid. You know?
Yeah, so, wow. That is crazy. So did you know him before they started, or were you guys?
No. He was always in Nazi Front. He was always in Nazi Front. I was like, I started going to shows in 87.
Okay, you know? So that's kind of what I was asking. He started before you. He's like,
oh wait, yeah, they are the
so I would say he's a generation, then you, like, Ill Bill is a generation, and then I'm the next generation. I'm 42.
So it's weird, like when you go down like that, like when you let's talk about Ill Bill and Necro, like no matter what anyone says, I know that Necro is, no matter what, me and Necro, we always argue everything because the crazy poly, but he won't back down, and he stands by what he stands by. And when he talks to me sometimes, I'm like, oh, now I understand your point of view. Because he goes, because I you know, we talk about the things. He's like, yeah, but Danny, this is this. I said, Bill. I said, like Bill's I love Bill. I just played a show with Bill. But Necro is my boy. I'm close to Necro. And those guys don't, they really, and they don't talk anything, but I'm like, yo, listen, I love you both, and I love them both. You know what I mean? But a lot of people always get mad at Necro and say, hey, it's a product of his environments. You know what I mean? Just like, I understand it. Because a lot of stuff, like a lot of people I do play do songs with. He'd be like, you do a song with that guy, fuck that. I'm like, yo. But then I understand he was
who'd he say it about? What do you
Oh
say?
God, but it's a lot of people. But say
Anybody, basically.
anyone that has a problem, he'll listen and he'll tell the person too. He'll be like, "Yo," and he'll tell me why he's mad at me. He goes, "This is why I'm mad at me." Like, yo, I said, "You're mad over that," but I tell you right now, I got. But there's not a lot of people in the music industry I met. The Necro and I met years ago,
Yeah.
and we always love and always got his back. You mean it's also a Jew thing too. Like you mean with big Jewish kids he's from the projects, you know, and he knows how I get down because I like we've been together and like we play shows so many times as just friends and he knows it's two different things. I tell him all the time when he gets mad, I go, listen, I'm in a world where a beef is to me is a beef is like I got shut down by everything and make sure no one's blowing up my car. You understand? My beef is a beef with another organization or something like that. I'm just trying to tell you. So
That's how
I'm not
I
gonna
look
get.
at
I'm not gonna get mad at someone who says, "Hey, that Jew something." I'm like, he says Jew and his thing. I'm like, I pick and choose my battles because I know because like a lot of these rappers it's all talk. It's all they do. They just talk
Well,
and they
Sean Price said these gangster rappers can't fight, so they talk about guns.
it's Sean Price recipes. I'm just saying
That's
that
my
a
thought.
lot of these rappers will talk and people say stuff all the time to other. I hear everything because I hear through the girls. Most of the time, you hear through the groupies. They'll say, "Yo, this and that," and that's why it makes you laugh because
Oh, I
these
love
guys.
that.
That's how guys are. They talk to the girls
Yeah.
and all. To me, I used to get so mad, be like, "Oh, fuck him up," and do this. Now I'm like. If someone got a problem with me and me, they say you gotta say it in my face, and none of them are gonna say it. You know what I mean? You can find me where go on to my page, DannyDiabloMerch.com, and my Instagram. You see where I am. You can get me anytime you want. You know what I mean? They really got a problem, but no one wants that. You know what I mean? Who wants
Exactly.
if 50 years old? Oh, if you're over 50, you start finding people on the internet. There's a problem with you.
I absolutely agree. And I have kids and I have a
Yeah.
wife who doesn't want to see that. And
No.
I
No.
gotta,
I want. Listen. Like life brings you. It's a crazy road. I mean, and when you're young, you don't understand. My father died. I never understood when I had a kid. Understood. All I knew was want to make my son's life better than mine.
yeah,
And
yeah,
and when I got divorced from my ex, I got married. It's my fault because I wanted to show my mother do the right thing as a Jewish, and I should have never got married. Should just because I wasn't in love with her anymore, and it was two different worlds. And
yeah,
then I met my soulmate later. Like after she saw that, and the only way she could do anything was like, oh, I guess see my kid, and 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 now I haven't seen my son in 6 years, right?
oh,
And and the thing is, like, it's hard for me. So, because
oh,
I'm not gonna say it's hard for me a single mother. So, but it was done a way that only way the system doesn't work. It's all rackets. Every time you do something, oh no, you got paid the thing. I don't talk to my son. Then you're like, oh, then you get certain way like fuck you to her, and then all of a sudden back up. Now I owe this amount of money, but I owe $10,000 of back things because they fine you, but which they don't get. They only get let's say it's $500. They get 250. The 250 goes to them, and all this money is like I would rather just give you the money, and she would have been $500 my money straight to her, but she didn't want to do it. She wanted to hurt me, and you know what? It only hurts the kid, and that's
absolutely.
and I'm trying my best right now in the world to be like, hey, I don't want to fight with you ever again. I just want to talk to my son. And you know what? I came out here. I have my own place. I'm gonna have when I open my business, the Diablo's Den. I'm gonna have my own place. I can't wait till my son gets back right. But then again, in Puerto Rican families, this happens all the time. So my mother's like, oh, don't worry. When he's 16, he's gonna live with you. I said, I know that.
I tell
And,
you, my wife's, like I mentioned, my wife's Dominican. She
yeah.
moved all over the fucking place. She was out of her first house at 13.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yeah.
And then she went back and so I know, but I do want to say I'm sorry. That fucking sucks. Six fucking years is a long time.
I just, but he talks to my whole family. But they talk to his abuela. He talks to my mom. He talks to my sister, his cousins. So it's good. So,
There's a connection.
There's connection, and my thing is like he has to be seeing the world see what I'm doing because
Yes.
I feel in my heart.
That was the other thing I was going to say to you.
And that's why I'm like I'm who I am. You mean I never changed. So she married.
He's going to be so fucking proud of who his dad is when he grows up. I promise you.
I know, but you know what? I felt like I was like I've been robbed of the best years. But then again, I think I never had a like my I was a horrible husband. Cheating, I did partying, whatever, being who I was. You married, like, look, you married a guy. I wear my heart on my sleeve. I show how I was. I was crazy back then. But the thing is, I'm a great father, and that's why it hurt me the most. You know what I mean?
So. I had those conversations. It has not always been easy between me and my wife, and I left a couple times, but we stayed together, and she's sick now, so I'm really glad.
I'm so sorry about that, brother. You mean so sorry. I when you told me I hit you up, because I get on the messages. I hit you. I saw the thing. I said, hey, I'm so sorry because that hurt me because I just lost. Oh man, last month I lost one of my closest friends, my friend Deep Down, who was the first singer of Skarhead with me on the drug right. That's a Russian Jew. He died of. He had a brain tumor, and then also they said that he had a year to live. And he did half chemotherapy, half holistic, and he just died like 5 weeks ago. And it was like one, and we haven't seen each other in 20 years because he became what he did in life was his uncle didn't let him leave. He couldn't leave the country, the Russians. So he was like a Russian mob. And it was just so funny. So he's like, yo, and we started with the last 5 years. We got back together and fucking singing, hanging out, whatever. And I felt like my best friend, my brother, was back in my life, and it was just taken. And I said goodbye to him. I couldn't find his ex-girlfriend. She goes, yo, he's in the hospital. When I did Milwaukee Metal Fest, he went to the hospital that day, the 2 days before he went to the Milwaukee Fest. He was talking about everyone, like, Danny's doing Milwaukee Metal Fest. Then, then a week later, he slipped in a coma. So I talked to him on FaceTime through my boy and his mother, and his eyes were moving every time I was talking to him. He was out. His mother's like, I called the next day. She said again, I said, I love you, Deep Al, I love you. And his eyes moved, and he died. He died 4 hours later. It was crazy. It killed me.
That says a lot, man.
It says a lot, but I knew he heard my voice, like, yo, motherfucker. He's like, nigga, I hear you.
That's good. That is good. And we're, the older we get, the more we're gonna see this. This tattoo, is it right here? Is it on the other side?
Yeah. Right there.
That's for my mom and for my boy Andreas, who you may have known. He was the writer Why Me.
Oh, Why Me? All right.
You've definitely seen him up all around the city over the years, but we lost him a few years ago to drugs. So
I'm sorry about that.
I can relate there too, all right, so just because everyone has a terrible attention span, I believe they've made it this far, though, because this was a great fucking conversation. Whether Danny likes it or not, we're gonna do at least a song together, if not more.
Oh, we're gonna do some stuff.
Yeah, no, we got to, and we'll have fun doing it. One day we'll maybe talk about, not necessarily me and Danny, but I'll talk about the rap experience going into the studio. It can be really good or it can be really bad. It can, you can vibe or not. And I'm sure he's got a million stories from touring and from the studio, just like me. But unless you want to end on that, which would be fly, like any kind of lasting story, I'll take it. But before, just let the people know, are you working on another album?
Yeah.
Tell us about it.
I got a label called E-Train Records. I've been rocking with Force 5 Records, with the DRP's label. I'm now DJing for a band called They Live, and it's 3 MCs from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and they're the prolific King Relic and Jason Logic. These guys are young kids, and they're amazing, straight hip hop white kids. The kids, and I'm DJing for them. I never DJed for a group. I get DJ wherever. I DJ.
Never been a
I never
DJ.
in a band. Yeah, but it's kind of cool. So I'm the DJ for them. So they're doing this stuff. They're doing the gigs, and I never say anything. But when I show up to the place, they're like, "What the fuck are you doing here?" And DJ like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm DJ." So, but I got a new album coming out. It's going to come out in November. With Danny Diablo versus Piss Mob. These kids from Jersey City, there's Puerto Rican, Cuban kids from Jersey City and white, all mixed. Kids from Jersey City, the trap metal, almost like what's it? What like a Suma? It's trap metal, whatever.
Yeah, all right.
So
people know what that is.
It's hard, man. So these kids are fucking amazing. It's some of the hardest work. It's like very punk mixed with like this energy like Suicide Boys, but it's grimy. They're doing that. I'm doing an album, a super group called Supreme Force Syndicates. It's like Wu-Tang meets the Transplants. Wu-Tang Clan meets the Transplants. So it's insane poetry. TJ Clay from ICP, Bliss from Juice, Tony Slippers, King Relic, and Big Lito. So we're all it's 8 guys together, and Chucky Chuck for Compound Kings. Chucky Chuck. So it's we're all mixed black, white, Spanish, and it's East Coast, West Coast, Midwest, and we're we're signed to Real Wolf Productions, Real Wolf Records.
Do that one.
Tom is like we just did our first single. Like we're doing a 5-song EP. I'm also doing a record, Danny Diablo and West Nile, who's on E Train, for the Father Son album that's coming out. I did also Danny Diablo presents the GLD Casket Company. It's me, Lord Jewish, who's a DJ, church Lord Jewish, and it's part of the clan.
I don't know that. That's awesome.
Lord Jewish, yeah, Lord Jewish. He did all the beats. Like we took all my Chubbs. Chubbs is a dope MC, Italian kid from Long Island, and talking amazing. But we did a whole album. Like it took us like 3-4 years. This album, and we took all my songs, hardcore punk songs, and made them into hip hop beats. So I sampled myself. So Lord Jewish is amazing, and this album is fucking amazing. And we're just sitting on it right now because I got put a certain way. Like
that, I want to hear.
Yo, I got on that record. I got Roz Dillams. I got Snack the Ripper. I got who else? Same Poetry. I got Ito. Shout out to Ito. Nice. I got mad people on that. Blaz 89. I got Diesel. So it's crazy. It's amazing. But yeah, I'm just doing that stuff. I got the Skarhead record out. You know what I mean? The Generations of Violence.
So this guy's busy as
always busy.
Always. And the movies, anything you want to share?
I just finished the second season for the TV series Crash the System, the series, which is on Tubi right now. The first four episodes, watch them all. I'm in it. My name is Randy Roadstrap. It's a rapper, mixed guy, and it was done by the Kamal Ahmed is the director, writer, producer of it, who is the Kamal from the Jerky Boys, which is my boy. So he did this purposely to fuck with me. So he did it purposely to fuck with me, and he's like, "Yo," he goes, "We did the second season." He goes, "Yo, the third." He goes, he goes, I don't I be smoking crack. I don't want you to relapse. I'm like, fuck you. So he's like, but he's one of the best guys. He has me doing the third season. I gotta grow my afro back because the people who put money in this, like, yo, we need Randy Roadstrap back. So I'm gonna do the third season. And also I got 2 movies I'm working with. My boy, one of my brothers is my boy Loki, who's in the TV series The Mayans. He's a DMS guy. My boy Nathan is the one who made the Mayans. He's used to be the the head of FSU. So how crazy is that? So we're all like, that's why it's the FSU guys in the Mayans and crew. But so Loki and I are doing a movie right now when in the talks about two brothers, but not like brothers, like brothers of bike brothers, like real brothers who are in a biker gang who kill people, assassins for the Illuminati. And me and him, yo, I'm like, I'm doing it. I don't know the name, but we have a meeting with the guy next week. The producer of that, he's like, I want Ezec in it. I was like, what? Then the new other one I'm doing right now is Drew Stone, who does the hardcore documentary. Who's good. I love you, Drew Stone. He has a movie that he's doing about like almost like the Warriors, but in New York. And I was like, yo. He goes, the producer wants you in the movie. I was like, wait, who's the producer? The guy from used to play for Exploiters. Guy he plays with Billy Byers and he's a guitar from Scotland. He has a movie that's out right now who made buzz all over Europe. I go, wait a second. You didn't want me in the movie, but the producer wanted me. I think you're my best friend. Fuck you. But yeah, I'm in it. So
that's actually even better though.
Yes. So I was like, aha, I'm in here. So September 1st, I start filming that in New York. I don't know the name yet. So
unbelievable. All right. Are you up for it? Is there a crazy story you want to share from the studio or from after shows or anything like that?
Ooh, I listen. The stories I got are people you read the stories about the people, the stuff with the weather. I've never started a fight in my life. I never was ever drunk and being a dick in the bar. I'm the guy who stopped the fights. I mean, like, so
you really are, man. Like
I'm. And I don't know why they always come to me. Like people,
me too.
They're like, "What's up?" You know, oh, here it goes. But my thing is that like I get moving out here and having a studio downstairs and working with people and to see that these kids, you gotta call them kids, they're grown men, 30s, 40s, but they're into the music. They're these nice young men.
But you know what? In our culture, I call 50-year-olds kids too.
Yeah, but me and Pop Master Fable talk about it all the time. Yeah. Like we act like kids. We never it's the graffiti thing because graffiti is the only thing that you still wanted to still do the same thing as a little kid. When you go painting with other guys your age, you still act like a little kid. It's like it's high school again and shit. You know what I mean? So it's like before anything, I want to tell people this. Before anything, I hate when people bring everything about color and race and thing. I was graffiti. To me, graffiti was when people the funny thing was this: when people saw me from Japan, because I went to I used to be in Japan all from '97 to 2000, whatever 10. I was in Japan all the time, and I was big in Japan, and when I saw the people in New York, and I'd be in a club, and they're like, "What are you doing here, Daddy?" I was like, what are you talking about I'm doing here? Bill Spector, my family's friend who grew up, runs all these blow pop and sheets of pillows. I was like, she's like, what do you know about this? I said, and these girls, these Japanese people would be like, the girls hang out with all the rappers. I said, see that rapper right there that you like? That I robbed his chain because he was being a dick. See, like if anything happens in this club to Bill, I take care of it. You know what I mean? Like so when you talk about all this hip hop stuff, these guys know me for the neighborhood. Like Juju for the Beatnuts. Shout to Juju, I love you, Juju. Is one of we all grew up together. We grew up there. So when I see Juju, he's like, yo, he'll be like, yo, this thing is crazy. So when they see each other, they're like, how do they know each other? From the streets. We grew up together, like Tragic Tsunami, Joe Fatal, all of us, Royal Flush, we all hang out together for the neighborhood. You mean?
That's why I'm so jealous, man, because I missed it by 10 years. Like I did, I mean, I got the benefit of growing up listening to your music, a lot of you guys. But like when I met Ill Bill the first time, it was like I was a little kid meeting my hero, not like two peers. Like I was young, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because the nonfiction was groundbreaking.
Groundbreaking.
And
Wow.
I always look at Bill. I always tell all these guys, like when I see Nems now, we all, hey, what's
M's is
up?
fucking killing it.
Yeah, I'm like, yo, I'm like happy for everyone. A lot of people are haters, and I'm like, just I'm in my own lane. Like, listen,
You are.
I do what I do. I don't even consider myself. I'm a fan of rap. I'm a fan of rap. I live my lyrics. I live my lyrics. Wherever, but my thing is like, I love Coochie rap, but that's the best MC to me. Big Pun, Big L. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Chino XL, fucking Thurston Howell. You mean
Yeah.
like that? But Big
Yeah.
Daddy Kane, Rakim, fucking even Bismarcky. Those are like that's what I love, man. I mean,
Yeah.
Schoolie
Yeah.
D.
Yeah. I get that.
I
That's what
mean,
you
like,
grew up on.
yeah, it's like, so when people tell me I need the street, this might sound horrible, and people might get mad at me, but if I could slap you in the fucking face and you're a rapper and you don't slap me back or say a fight with me, then I don't want to deal with it. I don't
Yeah.
want to listen. Why I can't listen to
All
you. I
right.
can't.
And then you will appreciate this, all right?
Right.
And we should probably end it. I really could talk to you forever. I had a real problem with Sean P. He and I mean, he's my brother, like, but I spend time at his house with his wife, and I would like I took him to Harry Fraud's studio, and
Well, all right.
like, we did the Bars and Hooks video together. We were
Yeah.
high as fuck. Anyway, one time he like demanded that I like get him a limousine to drive him back to Brownsville. And I think he respected it too. I was like, what the fuck, man? Like, I'm a Jew, but like I'm white, but like I'm not doing that. Like, if I do that, you own me. We're not equals anymore. Like, you have as much money as I do. Neither one of us is rich,
Yeah.
But anyway, he's a fucking legend, and I would never disrespect him. I thought I was doing the right thing, and I think you would agree. If I just was like, if I was like, okay, sir, he wouldn't have done another song with me. He wouldn't have hung out with me, right? He would have been like, that's a fucking pussy right there.
But yeah, that's what.
And by the way, I don't use that word for what
No,
it's
no,
worth.
but I say like it's my whole thing when the graffiti was first. So when you grow up, like you understand when this is what bothers me the most about the whole hip hop community is when. So I'd be like talking to people, like I'd be in other states, so like, and they're like, you can't the way I talk. Listen, the way I speak is where I speak. You know what I mean? So when and I know, like, I got people who like can't say the N word and all that. I'm like, I'm Puerto Rican. I can say whatever. I come from a black fucking pussy. I can say whatever I want. So they like, oh, I'm like, yo, is this how it is? And like, and people like, and I understand, but when someone from Atlanta, from someone from Georgia is talking about like, hey, Puerto Ricans, why do Puerto Ricans think they get culture vultures? I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? I said, first of all, a lot of people already know what hip hop is until New York, and in New York, everyone knows in New York that Puerto Ricans are whites with all the graffiti writers and breakdancers. It was like they're like, what? I'm like, yo, I'm just telling you, like growing up, like Scene is Italian, he was the godfather. But James Tom is black, the Scheme is black, but there's also. These guys didn't look at each other white black. They were like graffiti writers going to war. Cap was white dude. It's Angel Dust was Dominican. He went from my neighborhood. Angel Dust, DJ No, X-Men. These guys were crazy. There's Keo, Jewish. These guys are mad. Jewish. So I'm like, it doesn't matter. We all just like street kids, man.
Exactly.
And when they say something about like, yeah, but hip hop is like, music. It's colorless, man. It's just about soul, but it's here. Graffiti is colors. It's about anyone getting up and putting your mark on society, like put a dent in that shit. And that's what I did, man.
Yes,
And the people I fought, most people I fought, people just, yeah, but race. I said the people most I fought were people just like me, Spanish, white, Jews. I had beef with these people. You know why I had beef with these people? Because I was looking in the mirror. The people I used to have beef with TMR dudes all the time, and then later on, I'm at TMR parties, and I'm like, yo, and they're like, yo, Ezec. I'm like, what's up? Saint TMR. I was like, yo, and I looked at him, and I was like, yo, and we looked at each other, and I was like, all the years. I say, nigga, you look like Captain America. He's like, yo, we started laughing, we hugged each other. You know, I was like, I used to want to kill this guy. I wrote it, you know what I mean? I wrote it dudes' houses, broke the windows, but stabbed these dudes up, and they're just like us. They're boys that they, like just the same problems, the same guys, same characters. That's all it was.
Right. And if you come from a different neighborhood, they went through the exact same thing and thinking the exact same thing.
Like, you know, and I was like, yo, and I was careless. I'm like, I didn't.
But that was the culture. I mean, that wasn't you. That was for sure the culture. And I'm out of it now, but I think it probably still is to a degree. You know, specifically to graffiti, there's a different vibe to that. And that's probably part of the reason people like, if you're not going to go corporate and like go into a museum, they like will shit on you.
Yo, I would tell you something when this happened to me that you're gonna freak out. I went. Oh, hold on. I'm doing Diablo Fest in Vegas, December 1st. So then December 8th and 9th, during Art Basel, I'm doing the Black and Blue Music Arts Festival. One night art show, the second night live acts in South Beach, right during Art Basel. We did last year. It was crazy.
Really?
And we all so like come out, everyone come out. Everyone's welcome. I want to get a whole bunch of people. Everyone come out, do a piece, do a canvas.
If someone wants to buy my ticket, I'm there.
Now, listen, I'm gonna tell you something. When I went there, they were like, "Yo, let's go." Cat is doing the graffiti music museum, and I was like, "Oh, let's go." So I walked in there. Cat and I I'm talking about beef, bro. We had beef wrists. When I saw Cat walked in there, and I saw what he did, I was like, and he's like, yo, and we had our colors out. We all came. I'm talking about DMS. Then plus all the kids, the young kids were all the Trinidadians, Bloods, Latin Kings. We all went together, and I'm like, that's how we all roll. Because the younger kids all respect me. We all went in there, and I saw Cat. He looked at me, and he walked up to me. I said, and everyone's looking at us. Oh, I'm talking about beef for years. And I was like, yo, he goes, thank you for coming, Ezec. And I was like, I grabbed him and said, I am so sorry for what I did when I was young. Yeah, I'm so sorry you did. Now I'm looking at it from your point of view. Yeah, I'm so you killed you. Congratulations. We hugged each other, and I felt, and he looked at me. It was like, and I get goosebumps. I said, I know when I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm right, I'm right. But I knew I was wrong at one point for fucking bringing it to another level like that, the violence, everything. I said, hey, I'm sorry, and we're like, all right. And I'm just saying that it was a closure, whatever it was.
Yeah, no,
I'm just saying that for me as who I am, and now I look at it who I belong with, and like nothing's worth. Life is precious and beautiful, and I'm trying to
have more in common than you have different. You know, and we're all growing up, thankfully, and not everyone made it, so it's really a positive.
That's what I'm saying. You know, I've been stabbed up. I've been shot at, but I've been stabbed up 3 times, and people like Jimmy from Murphy's Law calls me the human pincushion. I'm like, yo, listen, my thing is this: if I'm fine,
knew you were gonna say that. That's hilarious.
But my thing is this: if I was fighting me, I would stab me too.
Oh man. My wife will love that because I say like all the time, like I've had enough of myself today. Like I'm gonna fucking blow my brains out. I fucking yeah. So and I just want to make one last point. You mentioned like the idea of or people calling you and others who aren't Black culture vultures, and in addition to it being not accurate, in addition to them not getting it because they're not from New York, there's the third part of it too. You are 52. There are culture vultures out there. You're not one of them. So they need to understand to respect the veterans, the legends, and that's another big problem in our community. That does not happen enough.
No, you know what? In hardcore, they do, but hip hop, they don't give. They don't give a fuck. It's sad because, you know, in punk rock and everything, we do everything ourselves. We market ourselves. And when's the last time you saw a Noriega shirt or a fucking? You know, no one they'll wear they'll rock, or you know what I mean? Like you don't see a fucking Core Mega shirt really. Never. Or a fucking thing. So,
never.
And the poor and the fucked up thing, the older guys, they shit on. I'm like, yo, it wasn't for these guys. Like some people say, oh, Rakim's whack. I'm like, are you fucking serious? And these new guys can't sell out a fucking 200 venue, but
Their music
yeah,
sucks.
the music's horrible. These guys are like it's horrible gang culture, which is not a real respectable gang culture. It's like rat you out gang culture, like 6ix9ine stuff, and
Yeah,
it's sad,
I
man.
knew
It's
that's
like
what you were thinking. Yeah,
it's sad. It's just
it's
sad.
either that or it's just like really corny mumbling that isn't what I know either. So anyway, like things change, we're old, but whatever. Some like the music can change all at once. It's more about like how you live your life, which has been the kind of the theme throughout this whole conversation, right? Like
Yeah,
how you present yourself as a member of the hip hop culture, how you behave as a member of the human race, you know, whatever it is. And I'm just really thankful we had the time today.
me
Um,
too. Me too, brother.
it is rare that I want to keep going. We've made it an hour and a half.
Can I say one thing?
Please.
Punks for Autism. It's a
Get out.
organization, Punks for Autism, and it's just go check it out. There's an album out, and it's a Chrome who did the song, the new song with MC Search. He did a few songs on there. He works with them, and I did a song with Tony Slippers, West Lau, and they live on Punks for Autism. You get the album, it's a good cause. I'm just saying, check it out, Punks for Autism.
It is a great cause. My 19-year-old daughter is autistic. I am definitely going to check it out.
Check it out, brother.
She's like goth metalhead who loves like our kind of hip hop.
Yeah.
So she's gonna flip out. I'm gonna ask them if I can get involved.
Oh, I'll get you involved. I'll get you on the next one, brother.
Would you? Yeah.
I got you.
That would mean a lot to me.
I got you. Don't worry about that.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you. Obviously, off the record, we're gonna keep talking, and there will be music on the way.
Yes.
All right, brother.
Can't wait. All right, brother.
One love.
One love. Peace out.